Hello and welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu. We are coming to you this evening from the pearl of the Black Sea, the Ukrainian city of Odessa. It's hard to believe that just 1 hour's drive from here is the military front line in an area called Mykolaiv. On this very special program, we bring you reports from Mykolaiv, which has seen a great deal of attacks in the last 72 hours. Cruise missile attacks, allegedly, bombing and artillery strikes. We travel to the airport in Mykolaiv, which has been devastated, the administrative building, which took a cruise missile hit as well. But we also bring you reports of people in this area, in this bustling city. There is a sense of disbelief that something like this could be happening in 2022. All of this and special analysis of just where this war is going more than 50 days after it started. Well, let's bring you what the ground situation in Ukraine is on a day when the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that in fact the renewed Russian attacks in the Donbas region have actually started to take place. So here's the ground position as it is. First, let's bring up a map showing you all of Ukraine with some of the key centers. As you look at these key centers, let's change to the next page, which shows you the line of contact, which is essentially the military front line, in other words, the point till which the Russians have changed. What we can now show you are arrows. The red arrows denote the Russian strikes which have taken place, the areas they're trying to push, and the blue lines show you the areas where the Ukrainians are pushing back at the Russians all along that line of contact. Finally, we've got some key cities marked for you. These are areas which the Russians are trying to hold to try and attack. If they are able to do that, the sense is that they will be able to penetrate further west from the Donbas region. Ukraine's defenders are holding on to these and staging counterattacks. So the areas that you see, Izium, Severodonetsk, Kharkiv and Mykolaiv, are key areas where the fighting is really taking place. One of the areas which saw some of the most hectic fighting, most intense fighting in the last 24 hours was the Mykolaiv region. We were there when artillery shelling had actually started. I have never heard more thuds of artillery shells since the Kargil War. The last time it was during the Kargil War in 1999 that I heard so many. When we came back to Odessa, we realized that that had turned into a very active war zone because of new video which emerged. These are our reports from the Mykolaiv region. Well, we are coming to you at this stage from Mykolaiv. Mykolaiv lies right to the south of Ukraine. This was a building which was attacked at the end of March. 36 people were killed over here. This was a cruise missile strike which took place by the Russians who were operating a warship out in the Black Sea. This is a major Black Sea port. There's very heavy shipbuilding activity over here. Let's just walk and go up to this building. We are with a Ukrainian army officer who's escorting us to this particular place. There's a great deal of damage, as you can see. We're just going to follow him as he takes us up over here so that we can get a better idea of the extent of the damage. And it's very sad because he was telling me about how he's lost his friends over here. He in fact works in this particular building, but right now he was away from the building at the end of March when the attack took place. But this actually shows you some of the damage. This entire block of the building collapsed in this particular area. You can see carpets over here, rubble over here, parts of chairs. This was the administrative block, or administrative building of the entire Mykolaiv area. And a single missile fired from the Black Sea brought this entire place down. It should also be mentioned that the warship which actually sank a few days back, the Moskva, it was actually built in Mykolaiv, which is a major shipbuilding center during the Soviet times, and the missile which was launched to attack it, Ukrainian Neptune missiles, were launched somewhere in this area. So the Moskva was built over here in Mykolaiv. It was destroyed many decades after by Ukrainian forces firing a missile somewhere in this area. But prior to that, this is an area where there have been so many attacks. In fact, we heard lots of artillery shelling a little while back, in fact when we were broadcasting live. And we are told that this happens all the time over here. Shall we carry on and see a little bit more?
This is more the first floor.
Wow, yeah.
Security post is over here.
Yeah,
Policemen is work in this place,
right,
and they died in this place.
yeah. And you were telling me that you had friends over here who've died, right?
Yeah.
How many
They
friends?
works in this place.
Right,
I have two friends in this office, but
yeah.
I
And you are from Mykolaiv yourself.
yes.
This is your hometown.
Yes, this Mykolaiv is my native town.
And there's no electricity, no water, nothing here right now.
Only water we don't have now, but we have hospitals, electricity,
Right,
and others.
right. And why is Mykolaiv so important in this war, the location?
Because after Mykolaiv, Russians want to occupy Odessa and others south of Ukraine. They want to occupy all seas of Ukraine, Black Sea and seas of Azov,
Yeah.
and maybe next Moldova, because in Moldova Russians have Transnistria,
Yeah, yeah.
and they every time speak about this
Right.
and his plans about
Yeah.
occupated this area.
And the bombing of Mykolaiv happens every single day, right?
Yes, in the morning, in the night, and sometime in the day.
Have most people left Mykolaiv?
Yes, first women and children.
Yeah. And of course men are over here and they need to fight. So that's the law, right?
Yes, men is prepared to fight. This is not first time because they tried early to
Sure.
occupy Mykolaiv, but they died here.
One final question. Mykolaiv is your hometown. You must be feeling very sad.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. I appreciate that. And giving us, showing us be careful, Ashok, behind you, the extent of the damage over here, what war actually does. 36 people were killed in this building. The war here in Ukraine doesn't show any signs of ending. With Uma Shankar Singh and Ashok Mahale, Vishnu Shom for NDTV. Behind me, the bombed out Mikolai Airport. There have been multiple strikes over here. We can actually hear a lot of the artillery shelling taking place in this entire area right now. So we're going to keep this report really quick. This is an airport attacked by the Russians. It's completely non-operational for an indefinite period of time is what we are told right now. This is one of the areas which have been targeted very heavily in Mykolaiv, a city which is very much the front line in this entire area in South Ukraine. It is located about an hour from Odessa. This is a key location, very strategically important. The Ukrainians want to hold this position to ensure that the Russians cannot come westwards. We are about an hour from Odessa, and that has to be preserved, protected at any cost. Mykolaiv is strategically very, very important. It is also a major port city. It has a major shipbuilding industry as well. So we've been bringing you these reports from Mykolaiv, an area where there is constant shelling and bombardment. This is the latest, one of the areas which has actually been struck. Lots of people have lost their lives. Mykolaiv town itself is virtually a ghost town. Most people have left the town. They have gone further west where it is relatively safe. So we need to end this report now, get back into our car with Uma Shankar Singh and Ashok Mahale, Vishnu Shom for NDTV. This is the same Black Sea where the Moskva, the Russian cruiser which sank, was targeted. There's a strange irony over here. About an hour's drive away is Mykolaiv, and it is in Mykolaiv that this cruiser was actually built during the Soviet times. And just somewhere along the same belt is where Ukrainian forces using Neptune anti-ship missiles targeted this ship and actually sank it. There are still many questions remaining on what happened to the Moskva. We do know it was struck, pictures are now out, but how many sailors on board actually lost their lives, and how has Russia been able to cope with this immense loss of one of the most heavily defended warships anywhere on earth? Hello and welcome to Odessa. This is a city known as the Pearl of the Black Sea. It is an incredible area, a vibrant cultural hub in the Ukraine. But think about it, just a couple of hours away from here is the battlefront on the Mykolaiv front. It is unreal to be in a city as beautiful as this, as developed as this, a city which faces the prospect of a very real war. I'm joined by a wonderful cross-section of people over here. We've got a choreographer, we've got an actor, we've got an IT professional as well, among others, to give us an idea of what life is for them in the city. Thanks so much, all of you, for being with us. So let's walk and have a bit of a chat. So you were telling me, how has life changed for you in the last 50 plus days?
So, well, you know, for the first couple of days, the city was very silent, and it was more scary than anything to see how empty the city was, how many people were living. But right now, as you can probably tell, the city is going back to life.
Yeah.
So, and we're kind of getting back to normal, because I think that with the war raging like so close to the city, it gives us more reason to feel alive.
Yeah, it does. That's great to hear. So, and you were a professional. You work in the IT sector, right?
Yes, that's right.
You were mentioning to. So how do you work now in this present situation, or do you?
So I worked remotely starting from the pandemic times.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say that it changed much for me. It's just that for the first couple of weeks it was really difficult to concentrate.
Yeah.
But the company I work with, they were very understanding. So yeah, but right now I'm kind of working as a volunteer the first half of the day, and then I work my normal job in the evening.
Right. How about you? How have you been working? Has work changed? Are you also part of the war effort, directly or indirectly?
I think my life changed, really changed. Now I work remotely, like Anna, and only in the evening.
Yeah.
So I think my big problem is that I can't see my students near me.
And you're a choreographer, right?
Yeah, I'm a choreographer.
Right.
I see them in Zoom, in other countries, and it's so sad.
Oh, that's sad.
I really want to see them.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. How about you? Where do you work normally, and what's changed?
I'm an actor. I am an actor in Kyiv. I work in theater.
Right.
But now everything is changed because I cannot work because of Russians. They put out my opportunity to do my work that I love. So. Now I'm here in Odessa. I'm a volunteer, and we must win.
Yeah.
And I think that all of us must do everything to defend our country and to beat Russian's army.
You've got your family here, right?
Yeah, my family here. When war started. At first day I went to Odessa because I think that Odessa is the first place where Russians want to fight, to occupy it.
Yeah.
And here is my family, and I must defend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us as well. So where do you work normally? And
I am political analyst.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you're a political analyst where?
I work with People Deputy. So before the war started, I explain what happens, political issues, elections.
Yeah.
So now everything is changed. Yeah, and
how is your family reacting to this?
Bad, of course.
Yeah.
But what can we do?
Yeah.
So we just trying do anything what we can.
Yeah. Are a lot of people moving away from Odessa? Are they going away because they're worried they don't know what the future is going to hold?
A lot of people, yeah, but I guess it's выбор, choice of everyone.
Yeah.
You can go or you can fight or you can help to people who try fight with enemy.
Yeah, yeah. And let me ask any one of you, how are you helping the war effort? Because, you know, in everything I've seen in your country over the last several days, it's the army, armed forces and civilians coming together. You know, it's a joint effort. So could you describe to me how that's the case?
Yes, we have a volunteering organization. Our main effort from the first days of war was to supply the territorial defense, because this is a new formation, and the regular supply routes were not arranged yet. So we were collecting donations, buying equipment, supplying hot food, renovating the places where they had to stay. So we basically did everything we could to help them defend the city. So and this is not the only activity that our organization is working on.
Let's go. Let's walk in this direction. Does it sometimes feel unbelievable that in 2022 something like this is actually happening? That Ukraine is a very major country. It's a democracy, it's a vibrant sort of city facing an invasion. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, that's what strikes me. I mean, how could something like this even happen in 2022? Is that something that strikes you as well?
Yes, but I think that unbelievable for Ukraine that now whole the nation is become one nation that stands for our country.
Right.
I think it's
We've never
something
been so
magical.
united, I guess.
Yeah. Would you like to talk about that? That, you know, the Russians felt that they'd be in Kiev in 3 days. But this is a country which is fighting back, and it's fighting back not just because of tanks and bullets and armor. You're fighting back because of the spirit of the people and the unity of the people. That's the bedrock. Could you tell us about that sense of togetherness?
I think that all of us at this moment, we are warrior, and we love our country, and we want to do everything to our country will be independent. Free.
Absolutely.
Because you know, we have a very difficult history, and this history was about Russian
aggression.
Russian aggression for many years.
Right.
And I think that now is a historical moment when we must stand together, and we must defend, fight, and kill Russian army that want to go and kill us, our grandparents, our parents, and our children. You know.
You know what? It strikes me that we even have this in our national anthem, the words that we will give our souls and our bodies just to defend our country. So this anthem was written like more than a century ago, and this is so deeply ingrained in our souls. This is just part of us. I think it's normal to love your country, but somehow, well, I probably didn't expect it even of myself, that when the war started, I was not that much scared, but I was angry, and I was ready to do anything, even to take arms and to fight back.
I found that quite interesting. Would you like to talk about that? You know, I was many weeks back in Lviv, and over there I found grandmothers making Molotov cocktails and saying, if they come over here, they're going to fight me.
Yes.
Grandmothers. I find that amazing, you know, the spirit. How is this, the sense of, defying the Russians, wanting to do something, how is it something that people who are old, who are young, men, women, boys, girls, everybody are part of?
I guess people see what happened in our country, this pain of people, and everyone understands that we should stop it.
Yeah.
And you do what you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about your students who are unfortunately on Zoom, and some of them are in another country now, right? As a teacher yourself, as a choreographer, that must hurt your spirit, because interacting with your students, teaching them, physically guiding them is such an important part of your job.
Yeah, they really need to hug me, and I need to hug them.
Yeah.
It's a big part of teaching progress.
Yeah.
When you explain something, you need to do physical, so
Yeah.
you need to not to talk to your student, and
Yeah, yeah.
also show and touch
Yeah.
the student to understand the body. It is
Yeah.
a very great process of
Yeah.
choreographer.
Yeah.
So now we have some fun lessons,
Yeah,
because they need to understand that everything really good.
yeah,
Also really small kids.
Yeah.
So we have some pajamas parties into the Zoom.
Sure.
And all the choreographer process I remove to a game process, because some really big physical exercises you need to control and
Yeah.
see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they could do it directly.
yeah.
So for me it's useful to make a game.
Yeah, it is. So there's no theater now, is there? It's all shut down in Kiev?
I think that some theaters started to work, but my theater
that's
doesn't work now.
Yeah.
My theater.
So that must be hurting your soul. As
Yes,
an
of
actor,
course.
you wanna-
Yes, of
you
course.
wanna
I
be
want
part
to.
of the process.
Yeah, I want to. Say, when I was actor, well, I'm now actor, but I take part in Russian plays in our theater,
Right.
in Ukrainian theater,
Right.
like Chekhov,
Yeah.
like Pushkin,
Yeah.
But Russians took something that I don't know now to play these plays,
Yeah.
And I also want to say that they said many times that we are Nazis,
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood that.
But when Russian love their country,
Yeah.
they are patriot.
Yeah.
When Ukrainian, they said that we are Nazis, but we love our country.
Right.
And we want to live in our country,
Right, yeah. Are you optimistic of a peace?
Well, I was more optimistic the first days of war, when it still seemed like a possibility that it will end soon. I'm sure that we will win, but I'm not sure how long it might take us.
And what do you think? Because there's a new phase of the war that's just about starting. Do you believe that this is going to go on for I know you have been at war since 2014, but do you believe that it's now going to go on much longer?
Yes, unfortunately, war will continue. If we have some peace, it's a very short period, and Russia wants to continue aggression. So we should fight.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Some wonderful professionals, with me, and thank you so much for all talking to us. Gives you an idea of just how upset people are, how their lives have been affected, how there's a sense of disbelief, but how underlying it all is this sense of unity and this willingness to fight at any cost for their identity, for their democracy, for their sense of self, for Ukraine. With Ashok Mahale and Uma Shankar Singh in Odessa, the pearl of the Black Sea, Vishnu Shom for NDTV.